All right, ladies and gentlemen, how are you? I like the energy. That's beautiful. Thank you for coming back after lunch with such energy. So with that said, my name is Robyn. I am responsible for environmental enrichment at the National Zoo. And it is a great pleasure to be able to be responsible for this subject. You have been hearing about this subject all day, and you've been hearing from Valerie Hare, from Kathy, from Stephen, from Vanessa, about all the opportunities that you as professionals can give back to you, your community, and your animals. So before I go on to the next slide, I would like to say thank you to the Sao Paulo Zoo for our visit yesterday. The zoo is a beautiful place. It really is a stunning environment. And the aquarium visit, the enrichment, I was agog. It made me smile all the time. So well done to all of you, truly and utterly. Give yourselves a hand of applause. You guys have done well. So yes, I work in a zoo in Pretoria, and it is jacaranda season. Is it the jacarandas, the trees with the purple flowers? In my city, the streets are lined with these. Every street is just a purple city, and I've left it in Pretoria to come to Brazil. I'm in Brazil, and I can't believe how special it is, where we have Shape Africa and Shape Brazil in the same environment. So this is going to be a wonderful opportunity for learning and developing together. So without further ado, let's move on. This is the brief overview of what I'm going to be speaking about. I think it's very important to appreciate who we are and where we come from. And that, I find, is the main message I would like all of us, all of you, to take home. And there we have the Soccer World Cup in June and July 2010 was in Africa. Where is it going to be next? Where? Yeah, Brazil! So yes, so I've got a couple of things here. This is for competition. We're going to be talking about things, and at the end, the first person who can blow this can have it. So let me start. Ubuntu is a very important philosophy in Africa. Ubuntu. It is a saying that says, I am what I am because of who we all are. And that is an African philosophy that I really take to heart. Because without you, I can't do anything. Without you as an audience and as a community, we can't do anything. Individuals are wonderful, but it is the team that makes the success. So my question to you is, what is professionalism? How do you perceive professionalism? And how can you, as a professional, prove that you are? So I'm going to ask everybody in this audience, what do you do for a living? How do you define yourself as a professional? Christiana, I'll ask you first. How do you define yourself as a professional? I believe that professionalism is something that we do on a daily basis. Thank you. It is something that we do every day. We teach and we learn through play. And I think that is what we're doing today. We are here from all over the world, from all over Brazil, to listen to each other. And I think it is a lovely way of being able to portray a beautiful smile, a way to be able to engage with yourself, because my presentation today is about community involvement, community development. Because in Africa, as it is anywhere in the world, is very, very important. And it is a tool that I use within my context to be able to teach enrichment. Here we have Chris Paw, he's our zoo educator, and we had a workshop where we challenged the staff to find ways to use normal daily items in a different way. Not using them in the normal things like putting things on your hat, making things work in different ways, down to allowing the public to feed the animals. And that was a lovely lesson in allowing to literally let the school children feed the animals. And where we allowed the participants, believe it or not, I'm nervous. No. But the idea behind this is to provide the opportunity for people to share new experiences. And from my perspective, I think the value is the bottom-up approach. It is the guys and the girls, the people that work on the ground, that work with the animals, the guys like Steve who have the opportunity to engage with those beautiful animals, the people who work with the animals themselves that enrich the lives of their communities. And with Beth Rich, we had groups in South Africa from the veterinary faculty, from all over South Africa, getting together to make decisions. We had gentlemen who had worked in a zoo environment for close on 50 years. And these gentlemen cannot read, they cannot write, they cannot speak a general language, so there had to be translation. Many people in our environment, where I come from, enrichment is an alien concept because their environment is so tough. Getting food on the plate of their child is far more important than giving an animal a toy. And this is where community engagement comes in. So my question to you again, what is professionalism? Within the context of a zoological setting, ethics, I agree. Understanding the value of passion. Professionalism to me is respecting the dignity of every individual, whether they have little to no experience, to people who have a whole host and value of experience, but they don't know how to portray it. It's respecting and giving dignity back to those that might not get it every day. So with that, I have to give a little bit of history because it helps everybody reflect back on who we are. So this is who I am. And it all started at the Joburg Zoo. That's me over there at 2 years old. And I started to learn through play, through experiencing opportunities on horseback. I learned about animal behavior. My mother used to do show jumping, and she'd often say, just hop on the horse and go warm it up. And I'd be this tiny thing without just these legs kicking and screaming, and this beautiful animal right underneath me. I gave the opportunity to be able to work with race horses. So in my early childhood, I had an opportunity to work with animals. And this is the message I want to bring home, is that through every one of our experiences, every one of your experiences, each individual person inside this room has value from the experiences that you had as a child. Never, ever deny the experiences that you have claimed through life, because it is those life lessons that make you who you are and where you are today. So I salute you for the lessons that you have learned. And from animals, I didn't know what I was going to do. So I did porcelain restoration. I even did butler course, and I even did secretarial, courses. I didn't know who I was as a youngster. I didn't finish my final schooling. I have not got a degree. I don't have any paperwork behind my name. All I am is this lost, confused soul, young and stupid, not knowing who I am, except the knowledge that I have from the experience I had up until that point. And it was there that my mother had enough of me and said, go to Joburg Zoo and volunteer. And I would like to ask the audience now, how many amongst us here started in a wildlife sanctuary or a zoo as a volunteer? Hands up. All right. Here we go. There we go. Come on, I can't get that far. All right, you guys are going to have to come up to me. Come on. Who wants it? Come. There we go. So this is what it's all about. It's recognizing the value of people. There we go. Would you like the pen or the badge? Take a pick. Anyone? Which one shall I give her, the badge or the pen? The pin. Ta-da. All right. So from that point, I started volunteering. And I knew absolutely nothing about the zoo world. Zip, zero, zat. It was starting from scratch all over again. And my professional development, which is what the subject that I'm talking about is all about, is about how we all learn. So this is where it all began, my love affair with and for zoos. I started working with the animals, as we always want to, like play. And working with them, I got introduced to enrichment by Matthew Frunlierup at the Joburg Zoo. And that's where I started making toys and getting involved with things so that we could involve opportunities for animals to behave more naturally. And it was at that point that I realized that I needed more skills. So I learned to drill holes, to upgrade the bear exhibit, to be able to fundraise, to get enrichment objects and items. So through experience, you gain a lot of skills. And the message I want to say to you now is that never put yourself down. You've got the capacity to make anything happen. Here we have Aspa. He was a bear. He's unfortunately passed on now. It's Joburg Zoo. He lived in a concrete environment where he could not see out necessarily. It was a World War II bunker, so we couldn't blow it up as much as we wanted to. So there I was drilling holes so that we could at least get grass into the environment. And what we did was we built platforms for these animals to be able to climb over the walls instead of blowing up the walls. And it was magic to be able to see not only the animals' welfare and enjoyment and pleasure and everything that goes with what was spoken about today, but the public's enjoyment and the keepers' unbelievable transformation, because here's this little puppy arriving on the scene saying, we're going to do this whether you like it or not, and making it happen, and the keepers being resistant to enrichment. And it was at that point that I realized that my sensitivity, the lessons I learned through animal behavior from childhood, need to also come through into the people I work with. So it was a large lesson that I learned, to be gentle, to recognize the values and the dignities of others.